Imagine everything you love about the hobby in the palm of your hand. An entire store at your fingertips. Everything you need to know about cards is within your grasp. Unlock the secrets of the hobby. Plus, so much more. You don't have to imagine anymore. It's here. Card Ladder. Get the app today.
Are we working? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Christina's phone now. So
There you go. Time for an upgrade, my friend.
is it though? Look at this. This is nice.
Same phone.
This is nice. You know?
Trash. Garbage. Get an Android. Get a real phone. Get a man's phone.
But I can't go on Clubhouse anymore.
Exactly. You're talking the case.
Yeah, maybe that would be a good thing.
Clubhouse is
Yeah.
the problem.
Did you see the post from a meme about deleting eBay is like the only solution?
Yeah, it does kind of feel that way sometimes.
Well,
Good.
getting rid of your iPhone's the only solution to getting off your addiction.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be a real addiction if I just agreed to it, right? It would have to be like pried away from me.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
All right, as a few more people pour in, we will make some announcements. So welcome to the crossover. Today is Friday, March 5th. First announcement is there's a new sports cards culture episode on YouTube, all about grading and particularly price increases. So please check that out if that topic is of interest. Second announcement, we rolled out some new technology on the Card Ladder app this week, label scanning. Josh, tell us a little bit about the label scanning tech.
Sure. It's only on the website for now. I'm still waiting to release it on the apps, but it's going to be in the apps next week. Basically, I don't have a good example ready. I wasn't prepared. But if you are in your collection and you upload an image to add a new card, it will scan the graded label on it, be PSA and BGS, and it will pre-fill the fields for you, which is going to save a ton of time, and it's pretty slick. It's like if you are uploading, here, maybe I can whip up an example real quick. So if I take this guy here, hope it works first try. I'm not going to go to my collection. I'm just not doing that. I'll go to submissions. It'll work on submissions. Request, pick the image. Come on. Of course. Oh, this is why I need to be ready.
That's all right. I'm showing how it works. I'm showing the commercial. Commercial shows how it works as well.
This doesn't work for real. Why isn't it working on that one? Anyways, it'll scan it and pre-fill out your fields for you to save you a bunch of time. It'll be on the app too. I've been testing it on the app a lot this week. It's ready to go.
So very exciting. Cutting out inefficiencies is the name of the game, and one step at a time. So I, as a person who adds many cards to Card Ladder, have been using this feature quite a bit, and it adds up in the long run for sure. All right, more announcements coming. Tomorrow night, let me turn the camera to myself for this one. Tomorrow night, the golden auctions technically end at 10 p.m. Eastern time, if I've done my time zone math correctly, and I don't always get that right. So we are having a golden auctions watch party live on Instagram, and all of you are invited. So we are going to do that from 10 p.m. Eastern time, which is when the auctions end, technically. Although they don't really end, right? Because there will be extended bidding. So we will be with you guys watching auctions for an hour or two, probably, something like that. That's tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, which leads me to my final announcement, which is that tonight's show is only going to be 2 hours because we're going to be doing 2 more hours of content tomorrow night.
work that time.
There we go. So an in-person demonstration of the label scanning tech.
It's because I tried to use the one where you block out the serials. I didn't like that.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yes, tomorrow's gonna be exciting, man. Obviously a big day in the hobby. There's tons and tons of cards, and we're gonna do our best to keep up with all of them. It's gonna be tough just because there's so many auctions ending, but it'll be a fun couple hours, and we'll just go through them and watch everything and react as it happens.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Be interesting as well. There's been a lot of speculation about what's gonna happen in this auction. So looking forward to it. All right. Now that we have a significant chunk of the audience on, I really need you guys to step up the quality of the questions, please.
Ooh.
You guys have done a great job up until this week. And then this week, everybody mailed it in and took a break. And so, I'm having a stern talking to with all you audience people out there. Let's get some questions going. I know that the topics, like Card Porn says in the chat, are pretty obvious this week, but nonetheless, I love getting great questions from you guys. So let's keep the good questions going here. All right. With that said, let's get into the questions. First of all, we got a couple of questions on the PSA price increase.
Oh, whoops.
Okay. So Chasing Exquisite 03 says predictions on the effect of the PSA price increase. What do you think?
Go watch SCC.
We do have an SCC episode about it, but for anybody who hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, it means that lots of people are going to grade, super cheap base cards. That's probably the first reaction. It doesn't make any physical sense anymore to grade stuff below, $100, let's say, because the grading costs are $20 minimum. Basically, it doesn't make a lot of sense anymore. And I think that's what they want. Nat has said as much in an interview that they want to deter people from sending in huge bulk orders of tons of base cards, and that's gonna be the best way to reduce the backlog, is to kind of slow down that sort of submission. They've said that they're hiring a ton. I've heard they're hiring dozens of people really frequently, and they're still having trouble. So it's not like they're not trying. I've read that people are saying they're not trying to scale, and it's definitely not true. They are. The demand is just so high that they're having to try to combat it by increasing prices. And I think it's also a good business strategy. If demand is super, super high, that means your prices are too low. So they have to find that equilibrium between supply and demand and pricing. So it makes sense from a business standpoint as well. So let's wait to see, how this affects the backlog. That's obviously what everyone wants to know. So time will tell.
Yeah. If the market was perfectly efficient, there would be a very slim margin of profit that would be able to be made by buying raw cards and grading them. And markets trend towards efficiency over time. So, the margin would have to be an amount that would be a wage that would be sufficient to induce people to continue to buy graded cards, to buy raw cards, grade them, and flip them. Yeah. Right now, when people can make $100, $200 by simply going to eBay, buying 10 Prism base cards, sending them to PSA, getting half 10s, and they end up clearing, they end up 2-3xing their money. That, as long as that's the case, the demand is going to be enormous for grading services. Over time, the demand and the supply should adjust so that that people will continue to do it until just the thin margin drives them away. I'm actually of the opinion that right now the margin is not thin enough yet. It's not even close. So for example, with the group subber that I use, value used to be 16 and now it's 22. And I know there's some group subbers out there who are doing value at $19.50 right now. So, a $6 per card like in the aggregate, if I'm doing 1,000 cards, let's say, yeah, that adds up. But if I'm just doing like 20, 30 cards, it's $180 difference. Like, not really gonna feel it. And when you get to the aggregate level too, like it's, if you're grading 1,000 cards, and you're grading $10 to $15 raws that turn into $100 to $200 PSA 10s, and if they get PSA 9s, they're still double the price of raw. The $6 per card is just not cutting in to profits in a significant way, in my opinion. I think the overhead is still huge, and I personally don't think there's going to be a big decline in cards getting submitted.
Yeah, maybe just the type of card, which is what they want, like the bulk stuff.
Yeah, but there will be like 2019-20 Mosaic Luka base cards. Those might not get graded anymore because those are kind of like right at that cutoff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and also like PSA is not in the business of helping people make margins on flipping their card grades. Like they're in the business of grading cards and increasing their own profits. Like people need to remember that these companies aren't like here to help you make money necessarily.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. All right. We had another question here related to grading. Slabs to Men says, with the PSA price increases, we will likely see some people try out some of the competitors. Do you have any new thoughts on HGA and what the future might look like for them? Besides time, what would it take for a company like HGA to become a true rival to PSA?
I mean, they're going to have to really, really innovate on something major, and capture the attention of a lot of collectors. But even then, it's going to be just a giant uphill battle because they have to have a lot of cards in their slabs to be able to have the reputation. It's like a chicken and egg problem, and they can't get that until they get the reputation. So it's tough. I don't know. I'm kind of sit on the sidelines of that one. Like I don't trust sending in my cards to something that's been around for just a couple months. It makes sense for maybe new collectors that want to try something out, be the first in line to try something new out and check it out. It makes sense for that. It just might not make sense for someone that's been collecting for a while. It's just I don't think it's going to make financial sense for a while.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think to me, somebody who takes a long-term view of the hobby and who wants to be around the hobby for a long time, and I have cards in my collection that I, consider and expect to be there for many decades, that I want a grading company and I want slabs that are going to endure for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 plus years. Yeah. BGS and PSA have already proven that they have staying power. And like Michael Osaki pointed out in the chat, PSA hired 167 new people. Do you remember last year we made a call for these grading companies to show us something to make a bet on the hobby long term?
Yeah.
Boom. PSA did it. And guess what? Beckett has posted that they are now hiring as well, and they will be interviewing and taking applications and dispensing information about it at the Dallas Card Show. So these grading companies are expanding their operations, and it's great to see. I need to see longevity from a grading company because and that's not everybody, right? Some people want to flip cards short term, and so if the value proposition is there to get a card into a new slab, maybe they will. Do you have thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, you're right. And I sent you that. I don't know if you read the article yet, but Nat did an interview with Sports Collector Daily. It was a really informative article. He kind of like answered a lot of the questions that people have been asking around. Are they hiring? Are they trying to scale? Are they expanding? Are they going to reduce the backlog? He addressed a lot of that. He talked about using robotics in a lot of the processes they have leading up to the grading, organization, things like that. And then he talked about them wanting to immediately open up new offices to expand hiring because he feels like one of the limiting factors is they can only hire people in California, which is obviously a problem. And he's even talking about opening up offices worldwide. I've seen that question asked of PSA a lot whenever I'm scoping out their posts on Instagram. People always ask that, so that's interesting. that it's already at the top of his mind. I mean, look, like Nat has a lot, and company have a lot of work to do, and they know it, and they're saying all the right things, and so hopefully it improves, and I have no reason to believe it won't, because it's led by several very successful titans of industry and business. So there's no reason to believe it. They can't do it here.
Definitely. Nat is saying all the right things. You did send me that Sports Collectors Daily or Sports Collectors Digest article. Nice, concise read. And Nat is saying all the right things. Everything is oriented towards the long term. Everything is oriented towards making the investments that need to be made. Like you said, whether it's opening offices here or there. Very encouraging piece. Highly recommend reading it. Great to hear these things coming out of PSA. Very encouraging. The other thing I would just comment on HGA as well is that and Ken Golden made this point in his live today, and it was a very astute point. When the populations are really low on HGA slabs, as is the case with any other slab, when the population is low, when cards are first getting graded, it's difficult to figure out what the true market price is. As the market becomes more saturated with more HGA 9.5s, or the market gets more saturated with PSA 10s or BGS 9.5s or whatever, then the market adjusts. This is something we see all the time in cards. When something is new, it's hot, then more copies come to the market, it levels off. This card that I'm showing right here, it is a perfect example of this. It came out, this is the Slam Hollow card. It came out, it was super hot. It's dropped down from like $200 to like $50 over a course of a week or two. So, it's the same thing will happen with anything that's low population. Exactly. You get a middle finger graph.
Everyone was so hyped about 2019 Prism. Do you remember that? And it was like, don't buy it. There's not any 10s yet because they just got them in the building. They're gonna go up, and stop buying it. This card peaked at like $600, and then the population exploded, and now it's down to $100. So it's just like got absolutely destroyed based on what you just said.
Yeah.
Population is 7,000. This is not even a rookie card. It's like half the population of a Zion-based rookie. It's insane.
Did you say the population is 7,000 on that card?
7,000, almost 7,300, basically. It's crazy. Crazy.
Wow. How much do those sell for right now? What's the going price?
$100.
So, okay. I mean, that's a card that under PSA's new rates is still worth grading, because you can pick those up, I'm sure, raw for $5 to $10. So, whether it's $16 to grade those or $22, it's still worth grading. The population 7,000 is still worth grading. That tells you how much this industry has absolutely expanded this year. I know we don't advocate for grading base cards, but the math there says there's value. All right. If you want to do more grading talk, like we had like a really nice breakdown on sports cards culture about the grading. And in case people aren't watching it, let me just do this. These are PSA's new prices. The value service level went from $10 to $20. And a big key about that is that you need to be a member of the Collectors Club in order to qualify for that. And you need to submit 10 cards. And that membership costs $99 per year. Economy is, I believe this service is suspended. Service suspended, so we don't even need to worry about that right now. Okay, so then you have regular, and it says turnaround times are impacted, and that's $100 per card. Express is $150. Again, turnaround times are impacted. We don't need to go through all the details here. The highest level is $600. It's a walkthrough that takes about 3 days. So there, that's the prices have basically doubled on most of the grading service levels, and time will tell what impact this will have. So do you have any final thoughts on grading?
Move on.
Let's move on. All right. So another topic, big topic from earlier this week. Bear Down Boiler Up says, did Christina get her Grail card that was up for auction last week, or did it sell for $4.6 million?
It sold for $4.6 million.
Yeah. So I have some comments on this, but let me have you if you have any takes on the 4.6 million sale, go for it, and then I'll supply a couple of comments as well.
Oh, yeah. I like when they have the middleman doing the deals on these, like the PWCCs and the Golden, to kind of like triple verify it. But I have no reason to believe that it's not a legitimate sale, which is kind of maybe on people's minds. But seems legit. Shine has been in the hobby for a long time. There's paperwork, imagery. No reason, I guess, to go against what happened. And 4.6 million is obviously an unbelievable amount of money for is Christina there listening? For a player that has proven absolutely nothing. So, good luck to the buyer on that.
Yeah, right. So,
I'm sorry. Proven absolutely nothing in the NBA. You meant to say in the NBA, correct?
yeah, yes, in the NBA.
Yeah.
So
yes, he beat a bunch of second level European players.
Right. So the buyer, we agreed with your comments on the seller, and then the buyer has quite a collection. The buyer was not tagged in the post, but I believe I know their Instagram handle. Yes, I do. And so this is the buyer. Okay, they have Luca Tiger PSA 10. Actually, no person who sold him that. Got this. That's a card, a nice card. Got Mahomes RPA, Zion Black Gold, Prism Rookie. The guy has a really serious collection.
Yeah, definitely. It lines up with the amount of money and based on what that person has already in their collection.
Yeah. Yep. We didn't even get to show the trout either. I think he has like $1 million trout too. The only thing that I have to say about this echoes exactly what Josh said, which is that even though all the pieces line up, this is not a sale that, according to the standards of data submission into Card Ladder, that we would consider a verified sale. The Mickey Mantle PSA 9, which was brokered by PWCC, was pushing it. And that was an exceptional case, as we explained back then. And there was a number of factors that mitigated in favor of admitting the sale. One of them was that the predicted price, based on the growth of lower grades, put it right in the ballpark of what the buyer paid. Second, that sale was brokered by an auction house. So the fact that an auction house staked its credibility on that sale certainly adds to its legitimacy quite a bit. One can argue that it's not so far off from an auction being run through that auction house, although certainly there are differences. The way the pricing is determined through an auction is different than a private negotiation. So those two factors are big. Now, predicting pricing on a logo man is damn near impossible. There's never been a public sale of that card, and we don't have a public sale. There's no baseline sale to base a prediction on, so prediction of that card is out the window. And then there was no auction house, no third party that was willing to put his credibility on the line. I shouldn't say it. There was no third party that did put his credibility on the line. I bet there would have been plenty of auction houses that would have loved to be the brokers of that sale, but they weren't. Now, I heard an interesting point on Lucky Show's YouTube channel. He says, typically you don't announce a deal like that and call so much attention to yourself without, having the intention of having to back it up if need be, say if the IRS becomes interested or whatever the case may be. So there are risks inherent in publicizing a sale like that. Obviously the seller is going to have a tax liability based on that sale, and it went on every mainstream news channel in the world. So that lends credibility to it, but the threshold for what's acceptable data in the hobby, it just doesn't quite meet it. There's nothing wrong with that. People are welcome to do private sales, but there was a mad rush among content creators to report the sale as if it was verified. And it's an important distinction to separate a verified sale from a private transaction that's been reported. That's all it was. it was great, and it had so much energy and enthusiasm. It was very exciting, and it came from two very credible people. But to call it a verified sale is just a bridge too far, from the point of view of people who have to vet data for a living. It just didn't quite meet the criteria. So, and I would caution content creators in the hobby. Everything isn't a race, and content, the energy and the ebbs and flows of creating content shouldn't, result in a middle finger graph equivalent, where you get really excited, you pump something up, you don't really check it out, you don't look at the details, you don't consider the implications of what's happening. Because here's what we don't want to happen. We don't want people to get the idea that all you need to do is have a check, an invoice, and a picture, and then we have to accept that sale as legitimate. This is a unique situation, two very credible individuals, all this stuff adds up. But, what if Josh and I sold each other back and forth a Luca Prism Silver PSA 10 for 20 grand, and we had paperwork, there was a check, there was an invoice? It just wouldn't be enough. All right. The standard wouldn't be met to call that a verified sale. And in to that point, there are transactions that happen on eBay that don't meet the criteria that we set forth for counting as a verified sale. Shield auctions, scams. You really have to take a case-by-case look at stuff and see if it meets the criteria. So, all right. Do you have any thoughts on that one, man?
No, yeah, I obviously agree with everything, but yeah, I'm not sure why there's this big mad rush from everyone to retread the content of all-time highs. It's the most boring reuse of content that you could possibly do. The all-time high is also an overrated aspect of this. I just don't. That's the most recent super rare card that sold. Everything's an all-time high. If a BGS 10 86 Fleer Jordan sold right now, it'd be an all-time high. But a LeBron logo man sold, it would crush these all-time highs. I'm trying to think of other examples, but if a man sold PSA 10, that would just absolutely obliterate every all-time high we've ever seen. So it just is a timing aspect. It's just a way to get, ESPNs and all these news channels hyped up about it. And they're just dying to report that stuff so quickly without any sort of research or vetting. And that seems to be happening a lot right now in the content game. Is just anytime there's a sniff of some sort of breaking news or gotcha on somebody or all-time high, it's just everyone's quick to jump and repost it. And it's I don't know, everything's just so fast, and there's there's nobody to step back and take a patient long-term approach to what's happening. And it's frustrating, but that's where we are.
Yeah. And I will say this, let's assume that the sale was truly consummated. It was an arm's length negotiation, and everybody's happy. And, the new owner is thrilled, and he paid that money, and he has the card, and everything is on the up and up. And there's no reason, to assume that it wasn't, based on all the factors we've laid out. Nonetheless, when I went on Clubhouse, when I went into Instagram chats, when I talked to other collectors, and the various ways we all communicate with each other, there was tremendous skepticism on a number of levels. Number one, there was skepticism about the level of proof, which I thought was terrific, because we should be skeptical. All right, and I'll make that point more emphatically in a moment. Number two, there was skepticism with respect to whether that was a realistic price to pay for the particular item, because it's always possible that everything would go smooth in a deal, but somebody overpaid. My hand can be raised right now. If the teacher asks the class, who in here has ever overpaid for a sports card, I have to raise all my limbs immediately, because I've done it so many times. I don't care to recount them all. So is it possible that it was an overpay? It could be. And this is what a lot of people talk about as well. How was the particular price of $4.6 million arrived at? That's a very legitimate question. What was it based on? Was it based on the Trout superfractor? Was it based on multipliers of some kind? What was the basis for that? So that was a really good question that a lot of people asked as well. And this is why I'm so bullish on the long term of the hobby, because we have lots of skeptical people who don't accept things at face value, and who are independent thinkers and who question this stuff every single time. and there's different levels of questioning. All right, you can question the credibility of the transaction. You can also question whether or not it was a smart price. You can question whether that price reflects the market for that card, or maybe it was an overpay. Maybe you feel it was an underpay. I don't know. I didn't hear anybody say that. But when people question things, it's good for the hobby. When people are skeptical of things, this is my final point on this. I want to drive home. When people express skepticism about, things that are shocking, when a market goes parabolic and people say, wait a minute, this doesn't quite make sense. How is this card 10x in a few months? When people think along those terms, it's good for the long-term sustainability of the hobby. It keeps the parabolic impulse of the market. It keeps it in check. It keeps things in balance. And even if the skeptics are wrong, which oftentimes they are, even if the skeptics are wrong, they play a very important function in keeping things balanced and keeping things on an even keel and keeping things reasonable. And skeptics have a role to play, and cheerleaders have a role to play too. Everybody plays an important role in this ecosystem, and the ecosystem doesn't work without both sides of the equation. So there, I've said some thoughts on the topic. I'll take a breath now if you have anything to say on it.
Yeah, well said, very well articulated and calm and reasonable. I didn't really have a reaction to the price, to be honest. People are paying crazy money for cards right now. There's a lot of money in the world. There's a lot of cash, and people want to buy sports cards. I can't begrudge anyone for that. If that's what they want to spend their money on, have at it. These prices, they don't really faze me anymore. It is what it is. This is the market. I think it's I think it's good. I think it's fun. I think people are really enjoying themselves right now. People with a lot of money are having fun with it. They like to, brag about what they have. They like to talk to their friends about it. It's all fun, and I enjoy that. I guess we're more critical of the sort of quickness of everyone's desire to hype up the fact that it's an all-time high and try to boost everything and get all overly excited and make all these crazy proclamations, and take it slow. Try to think about this long term, like Chris said, and approach it with a little more humility and long term thinking and respect than just, oh gosh, everything's going to the moon, and what's my card worth? How does this affect me? My Luka PC, LeBron's better. If you relate Jordan to Luka, Jordan should be more. It's just all this stuff. So exhausting.
It is. It really is. We've been on this rodeo enough times, but like you said, man, if ever there was a time to preach patience and humility, graciousness, this is the moment. This is the time to be gracious and humble. And as a hobby, I encourage us to keep practicing those beliefs.
Yeah. I like to think of it more in terms of how we're all doing as a community versus who's winning and losing within it. Who's got the LeBron, who's got the Luka that's winning, who's got Ja that's going down. It's not really this internal battle that everyone wants to make it out to be, and this who's hyping better and who's undervalued and overvalued. Us as a community, we're thriving. And if you look at the overall market cap and you look at the indexes, people are really enjoying sports cards and they're having fun with it, and they're coming in organically, and they are buying things that they enjoy. They are finding new avenues such as tennis, Pokemon, freaking MMA cards. There's just all kinds of excitement and enthusiasm. Hobby as a whole, we should be celebrating that more so than the internal wins and losses and desire to one up each other and all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Totally.
There's so much excitement. I don't get why we can't just humbly, graciously accept our winnings as a group and encourage each other and have fun with it. It's supposed to be fun, and that's what these rich guys coming in, they're having fun, and they don't want to be bothered with the drama that comes along with it. They're literally here to spend their money on something that's more fun than anything they've ever bought in their lives. And you and I have seen this from some of these guys, like Rob. He just had fun buying that mantle. He just enjoyed it. He couldn't think of anything better to spend his $5 million on than a sports card. That's where we're at.
Yeah, I don't blame him either. On my much smaller scale, I feel the same way. And I love that point because it just reminds me of the point is that we have to keep the hobby fun. And remember that is the point of this all, is to have fun, and that the thing that should be driving prices is the enjoyment of collecting, and the thrill of collecting, and healthy competition, but not unhealthy competition. So like when content creators are racing against each other to be the first one to put out the first meme or graphic depicting the sale, and like details go by the wayside in order to publicize it. I mean, it's inevitable. This sort of like cannibalization of credibility happens in all sorts of media that are based on, that place an importance on who's the first to report something. But like, I'll say this, our Josh, myself, Christina, social media team, our priority is not ever to be first. Our priority is to be accurate, to uphold our standards of verifiability, and to make reasoned decisions about things that we can come on a Friday Night Live and explain. And that's how we'll always do it. There's no rush over here. In fact, rushing is bad. Instead, there's an eye towards the long term, and there's an eye towards preserving what makes this hobby great. And, I humbly think that we perform an important function when we do that, especially given, the race that everybody seems to be running against each other right now to pump out content. So, all right. Canner Collects says, I rent a jet ski, Rob rents a yacht. We can both have fun. That nails it. All right, let's move on to the other big topic. The Brady $1.32 million sale. So it's funny, when I woke up and I texted you, you were like, man, you missed a lot this morning. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad I did. So what happened with this one, man? What can we say about this topic?
So PWCC, I think maybe it was in the vault. I might be missing that part, but they brokered a deal for a BGS 8.5, or sorry, BGS 8 Brady Contenders Championship ticket out of 100, which is obviously a monster card. It's his best card. It's his kind of like his RPA or whatever. It sold for 1.3 million. The picture that they used to like their marketing picture that they used in order to announce the sale was a Photoshop of a different card, because they didn't have a good enough picture in house. Like from the deal, they didn't get a good enough picture. So they just kind of like reused another one, which is obviously a mistake in the card world. You can't use a different picture. Like we all know about serial numbers and slab serials, and like every card is in its own way like a one of one that's been graded, because it's like that's the one serial number, that's the one slab serial. So we're all going to notice it. Immediately started swirling rumors of like, is this like a fake card? Was it, was it like a retraced auto? Like what's going on? And, honestly, it became like a blowout on Instagram scenario where people are just like coming on trying to find the thing to tear down PWCC, and it ended up being a marketing gaffe where the person who was in charge of the social media post, didn't have the proper tools or knowledge to know to not do that. And so it's been addressed by PWCC. They made a post, explaining the mistake, and people were piling on, and then so the people that were posting the breaking news that was going to bring down PWCC posted it too quick. It's just another example of like posted it too quick, didn't have all the information, and got caught with egg on your face that you posted about the wrong thing, and it was proven wrong. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, and man, it's dangerous and scary, I think, when a titan of industry, one might say, the owner or CEO of Fitbit, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what it is, but clearly a big time player involved in cards, spends 1.3 million on a card that I think is absolutely gorgeous and iconic. And I think Brady over this offseason is going to be very interesting to see how the 7 rings and the forthcoming season impacts his market, and how his legacy grows and the legend of Brady grows as it marinates. he comes in and he buys a terrific Grail for 1.32 million, a terrific sum of money, and then his parade is promptly rained on by this back and forth concerning whether or not the card's autograph is legitimate. So first of all, and that's there's plenty of blame to go around on this. I have sympathy for PWCC's marketing department / social media person who put together this graphic. I have total sympathy for that person because I work closely with Nick, who makes the Card Ladder Instagram graphics. And what he cares about first and foremost, and what we care about, is making the card look amazing. We want the card to freaking pop when you look at it, because cards are amazing. And it's very difficult to capture the shine and the glow of a card off of a picture or off of a scan. Now, of anybody in the industry, PWCC does great scans, all right? But in this particular case, they weren't able to do one of their patented scans. So the marketing theory behind it was, well, let's just put, we do have a good scan of this card. Let's put that one in and let's put it with the label. All right. That's marketing's point of view on it. And like you said, that's a big no-no when we take photographic evidence to be very serious, because we do have a handful, but very serious issues with fake slabs from all the big grading companies. So we do take photographic evidence to be very serious. And it did rightfully raise eyebrows when the autographs were different. But there was a perfectly good explanation of it right here. And, I understand why marketing did what they did. I also understand why the hobby was very skeptical and concerned about it. But like you said, when the facts were able to come to the fore, there's a very reasonable explanation for why it happened. And I get it. They were trying to make the card look the best it could possibly look. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. But now, they've figured out that you can't do that. That's a shortcut that's not allowed. If you don't have a high resolution scan, you don't use it because it could create fear and uncertainty that can blow up into something 10 times bigger than it ever should have blown up into, because there was always a very obvious solution. Let me pause. If you have something to say, let me pause here. You can.
I also don't want to give too much of a pass to PWCC because it's a pretty big mistake on their part. You pointed it out, which I hadn't read from anywhere else, that PWCC, one of their main primary jobs is to make their clients happy, both the buyers and the sellers, and they really pissed off the buyer here because now the buyer has to deal with skepticism over this card. They're very excited that they entered the market, they bought this really cool card, and it rained on their parade, like you said. So that's a big miss on their part, and obviously they don't want that. So it'll get corrected hopefully, and whoever made that post is probably learned a lot more about the hobby today, for better or worse. And so it's everyone's here trying to do their best, trying to get better. We all make mistakes along the way. You and I have certainly made our fair share of mistakes, and we're happy to take the blame when it happens and have people call us out. It's fine. Again, though, like in this scenario, we're very focused on getting the facts right and having a little bit of empathy and understanding for other people around you, for the common collector, the common man. Assume positive intent if you can, and then once the facts are presented that there's nefarious activity, then do your part and protect the hobby and protect what you have. But until then, assume positive intent in other people, because I think in general most people in the hobby on the whole are trying to do their best, and they're trying to do things the right way.
Yeah, they are. And that's what I come back to, is that I empathize with the buyer. That's a day of celebration for that person. But now social media is littered, and blow up forums in particular are littered with accusations about whether the card is fake, whether an autograph was retraced, whether the slab is fake, and none of it's true. None of it's even remotely true. So that's just disappointing, and I think it doesn't reflect very well on the hobby either. That anytime you publicize your high-profile sale, there's going to be controversy surrounding it. But then again, controversy sells, and people get excited. The drama keeps people going, and now that card has a story to tell. Now
Yes.
there's a new lore that surrounds that card, right? So
Everybody loves the drama. That's kind of the theme of the week is the drama. I'm not sure what it is about. Maybe I don't watch daytime news, so maybe I just am not up to date on what makes things dramatic, but I prefer the day-to-day minutia of sports cards, I guess, to the drama, but here we are talking about it, so it works.
yeah, and okay, so I started off this episode by chastising our audience for not sending in any good questions, which was a bit of an exaggeration. There was a few good questions, but in fact, maybe it's a testament to our audience that they didn't send any. Nobody sent a single question to us. There was not one question about the Brady PWCC situation. Not one. Maybe we just have an audience that doesn't care about the drama. So maybe the audience is doing a better job than I gave them credit for. Although that's only half the thing. You know, you don't send any questions about drama, that's fine. But send us some other questions to discuss. I mean, every other week the questions have been terrific. We only got one question on the Lucas sale, but you know, it was just as a lighthearted question, and then we got 2 on PSA. So, yeah, but we have one last question now.
Top Shot, finally. Is it Top Shot?
The only questions we got about Top Shot were what's Christina's Denny Avdiha clip worth, which I care, and then the other question was please don't talk about Top Shot. So yeah, we'll avoid
Excellent.
Top Shot. Here's the last question. I want to for hour 1. I think this will probably be the last one. Maybe we can fit one more. And I like this question. I want to address this question because you know, it speaks to something. The author of the question was able to just boldly say something that like speaks to a tension that exists between perceived investors and collectors. And I think like it can get neatly and tidily addressed right now. The question comes from Cards and Candy 911, and they write, as collectors like you two are in the hobby, you guys must hate Sasha T and how he flips. And the truth couldn't be further from that. First of all, shout out to Sasha T. Coleman Cards, who is a regular, I don't know, co-star of that YouTube series, we might say, along with the young legend Shia. We know all these guys from Southern California. We've seen them all in person many times, had great fun at trade nights and shops and everything with these guys. And Coleman wears card ladder shirts on occasion when he's on Sasha's channel, and Sasha allows the card ladder logos and imagery and apparel to be displayed. And I've messaged him just to thank him for doing that. I mean, he doesn't have to do that, dude. Like he doesn't need to do that at all. So first of all, he's been very supportive of us, which is always commands gratitude. And I appreciate that from him. And then second of all, Sasha has been unfairly maligned by some people who just, you know, and he's explained this on his channel. He feels like he's attacked for, you know, having a different approach to the hobby than is the traditional approach. And people, you know, play gatekeeper. And I can relate to how he feels because I remember coming into the hobby in 2016 and, you know, trying to do my thing and share my enthusiasm and exuberance for the hobby. And, you know, a lot of people were just very skeptical of me, even attacked me, for sure attacked me. Back when, you know, my page was very primitive, like, hey, look I'm analyzing the Jordan market, and people are like, why are you doing that? Are you hyping the Jordan market? What are you doing? So I would get attacked a lot. So I can relate to the idea that, hey, old heads are attacking new heads, and Sasha feels attacked by that. But, you know, I think Sasha appreciates, I've certainly come to appreciate that there actually is a very important role that gatekeepers play because, again, it goes back to that theme of preventing things from going parabolic. So we keep ourselves checked and tethered. Haters play a role. That's what I'm trying to say. Haters do their job. They play a role. They have an important function in this hobby, whether we like it or not. And so then finally to get down to the bottom of it, you know, do we hate Sasha T because he flips cards? You know, Sasha T made a great point on that topic. He said, what's the difference between a flipper and a collector? It really a lot of times just comes down to how long you hold the card. And that kind of is the distinction a lot of times. So there's lots of different points of view on this topic, but to hate somebody who, you know, is good at buying stuff and then selling it for higher later, flippers play a very important function in this hobby. they get cards into collections that otherwise might never hit the marketplace. So they play an important role. Everybody has a role to play. And I also think Sasha has a collector aspect to him as well. So nothing but respect to Sasha T and his YouTube channel. And it was good to be able to address that topic. Do you have any other thoughts on this one?
Not really. I mean, you kind of summed it up for me. I feel the same way. I find his content highly entertaining. I watched all of his videos of him in Dallas because, you know, as someone who wasn't there, it's really cool to see high production, quality content of someone there making deals, having fun. And I mean, the thing that I value most in another person in this space is, you know, the way that they treat people, their credibility, their long-term approach to the hobby, how they carry themselves and what they say and their content, how they are as individuals and people. And Sasha checks all those boxes for me. He seems like a really nice guy. I've never met him. I haven't spoken with him, but you know, from what I see, he seems like a really nice guy. Treats the hobby with respect. Treats others with respect. I can't really ask much more of him. He's not going on hyping stuff over and over, hyping the same card. So he doesn't have any of the red flags
Right.
I look for in a person. He serves a function in the hobby that I may not partake in in the same manner that he does, but that's kind of the beauty of the hobby. We all do it differently. We all have our own lanes. You know, that's his lane, and you know, respect for that. I don't really definitely don't hate him. I may disagree with some approaches to what he does, but you know, that's fine. We all disagree on lots of stuff. I don't disagree that he should be doing it himself. It's that I wouldn't do it for myself, and that's just different, right? But we're all different. We have to kind of respect each other.
100%. And you know, his evolution as a collector has been amazing, or flipper, whatever the hell the term is. It's been amazing to watch it happen. You know, and now he's trading in high-end exquisite stuff, and you know, that's freaking cool. So, all right, glad to be able to address that topic. Summertime Cards says, I hate guys who always post about the player they collect. So annoying. Yeah, that's what group chats are for. That's where we go obnoxious and support our guy, and then we only subject the people who like have a very similar topic interest in that topic. We only subject them to it. We don't have to subject all of our followers to it.
Yeah, I even get bored kind of LeBron stuff, to be honest. Like, it's just, you know, it's all I look at, it's all I know, it's all I have. So like, that's another reason I do the football thing, and I do buy some of like the newer guys, because yeah, it's just like, I don't want to sit here and hype up my own guy just as much as nobody wants to hear me talk about LeBron all night long. So you gotta expand a little bit.
I do love to hear from guys, Jordan collectors, everybody, people who have a reasonable passion and support of their player. I love to hear from them. But when it goes overboard and the point of it is just to pump up the value of a card, then it's like, all right, next.
Very, very fine line between passion and hype.
Yeah, no, there definitely is. And speaking of that, like, I was ready for this NBA break. I don't know about you, but like this all
big time.
I was like, I only could watch half of the games lately, because like it was just, I was like, all right, I need a break. We need to push reset. This is the dog days of the season. So
yeah, I'm like stressed about the NBA season right now, with like Lakers playing poorly, you know, all the drama with the like the Nets and the Bucks and the Jazz have a ton of drama around them right now. Like, you know, the Jazz think everyone hates them, and the refs, and nobody picking them for the All-Star teams, and it's just like, man, we all need this break to kind of reset and gear up for the second half of the season, which should be very exciting.
I would just like to say, Josh, if you're listening,
why are you're so fired up?
A huge amount of offense to Josh's guy when he was saying no one played Utah on NBA Jam.
Yeah.
Because that is false, sir. That was my team. That is our team. Whenever Chris and I play NBA Jam, we are always Stockton and Malone.
Yeah. No, Stockton and Malone are amazing at NBA Jam. That's like the best duo. And then who's the third guy? I think it's Russell, maybe. No, Hornacek. So you could always have a 3-point shooter and a big guy to knock people over.
Yeah.
Whenever you need them.
Yep.
Yeah. So But no, it was still great to see the Jazz get disrespected in that fashion.
I think the more that the Jazz players and fans cry for respect, the more I don't want to respect them. It's just like, just play. Get to the second round and we'll talk then.
So Vernon Maxwell, former NBA player on Twitter, his whole Twitter existence seemingly is just dedicated to talking trash about the Jazz. Every day, he's been retired for years, and every day he has new tweets just talking about how much the Jazz suck.
What does he have to say about it? Like, what is there to talk about that much?
I don't, dude. His last tweet was like, "I'll respect the Jazz players when they take off their stupid uniforms." He goes off, dude. He just. Let me see if I can pull up Vernon.
As in, like, they stop being Jazz players.
They are the 1 seed, so like they've earned the respect of like me acknowledging them being the 1 seed. That's great. Like,
yeah, no, they are the 1 seed.
Yeah,
Vernon Maxwell used to be on the Rockets in the 90s, so
yeah,
those teams had some clashes.
He could be classified as a emotional player back then.
Yeah. My technology is not with me today. Here we go. Vernon Maxwell 11. That's what his account is. All right. Here we go. Vernon Maxwell. This is his pinned tweet from 4 years ago. I'd like to apologize to Jazz fans that were offended by my tweets. If you guys had internet in Utah, I would have never made those tweets. He just goes on. Look at this. Still, right here, he says, if Jazz players want respect, the first step in achieving that is to take off those damn jerseys and burn them. He's been going nonstop against the Jazz for years.
You know what it is? I think a lot of this stems from that whole Russell Westbrook thing when the fans were saying stuff to Westbrook, and the players are very, the players like remember that kind of stuff, and they stand by each other and they stick up for each other. You know, in terms of like fans mistreating players, and they're very like unionized in that, and they're not forgetting it, dude. And it's happened in Jazz stadiums for years, and so like players, you saw it in the draft, like LeBron and Durant are sending a message like, yeah. This kind of stuff, we're not going to forget it. Jazz players, you're kind of like representing that. So like, we're not just going to stand by and forget about all that stuff. Do you think there's any truth to that?
I bet there is. Yeah. I mean,
that's what the comment about the video game thing is. He's not saying that like general America doesn't play as the Jazz and NBA Jam. He's saying like NBA players in our union didn't play with them as kids. Like, because that wasn't, the Jazz weren't cool, quote unquote.
Yeah, well, then that means that I would have whooped LeBron's ass on NBA Jam that we ever played. So that's the one game I maybe could beat him in. So, all right, let us wrap up hour 1 there. We're only doing 2 hours tonight. We will be back, Lord willing, if my phone will let us go live. We will be back in 2 minutes for hour 2. There we go. It's people pouring.
You fucked up in hour 1.
What'd I do?
You fucked up. You have to stop right now and show everybody your pickup of the week, my friend. What are you doing?
Yeah. I had the pile there too.
I gotta show this thing off.
So I actually had to get out the McCaffrey PC for this.
There we go.
So, because I was just enjoying this all night. Phoenix Blue, 1 of 1.
Rookie.
Origins Rookie Auto, 1 of 1. Select Concourse Rookie Gold out of 10. Prism Gold Rookie out of 10. Cracked Ice Contenders Rookie out of 25. And then NT RPA, a new one, because my old one had a bad patch. There's a whole big story behind that if people care to hear about that. kind of boring. But
You think
NTR
about the connection to the same rookie class as Mahomes and having the same design as Mahomes card. What is that? Does that add any value for you?
It does. It definitely does. But it actually probably adds too much value because I'd be more happy if these cards were in 2016 and I didn't have to pay a premium for the Mahomes connection. So thank you for reminding me to show this. I've literally been flipping through that PC all night, just enjoying the symmetry of it and the completeness of it.
Yes, you've got the big three, as I like to say. For football, to me, the big three in football is more obvious than basketball, which is kind of nuts. I can't quite pin the third big three for basketball, but football, to me, it just is so obvious, and you got all three of them now, so that's awesome.
It is awesome. And the crossover here has watched me build the whole PC throughout, from starting with some rookies and stars, one of ones raw to see if I liked collecting McCaffrey, now to, a full-blown PC of some of his, three of his best cards. So
This is probably a good lesson for people jumping into the hobby, but describe your level of excitement / fun in building that PC versus Luka and Jordan.
Yeah, it's it reminds me of building Luka and Jordan PCs when the prices were still in my range. So when I collected Jordan regularly, it was because I could afford to do it. And then I got priced out. And then same thing with Luka, and then got priced out. And so now move on to Mahomes. And it's incredibly fun to be able to collect the players' key cards and do it in a way that's financially possible and responsible for me to do it. So, when you're not, having to treat each item as, some grand investment piece, but instead it's just for the fun of accumulating amazing cards of a very exciting player. Obviously I don't think McCaffrey is. I think his cards are fairly priced, and so I'm happy to pay the market price on those cards, maybe even a little more in some instances, to be able to have that PC. So it's fun. It's fun being able to, and you know what? It would take me a lifetime to build those cards of LeBron or Brady or Jordan or the equivalents of those. It would take a lifetime, but I was able to do it with McCaffrey in half a year. So something to be said for that for sure.
Yeah, I got some really, really nice PC stuff that didn't cost me an arm and a leg coming. It's all going to ship my card, so I'm going to get one massive order of just awesome stuff in the next couple of weeks. And it's taken me a really long time to piece it together because they're all super rare, high grade pieces of the players I'm collecting right now. And so to see you kind of doing on the same path right now is just a lot of fun to share this together. It's fun.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And both of our guys had to sit out the majority of last year, Thomas and McCaffrey. So looking forward to actually having a collection and seeing them play for healthy for a year.
They're both gonna re-earn that 99 Madden rating next year.
Yeah. Yes, they are. All right. All-Star game selections. So I shared to the story the All-Star teams, and Captain Jack Collector messaged me and said, I know which team the hobby's going to be rooting for.
Yeah.
Because one team has all the hobby darlings. It has LeBron, who drafted the team. It has Giannis. It has Curry. It has Luka. And it has Jokic as its starting five. So pretty amazing that
That's not a bad hobby team, but also it seems like there's not really a lot of selfish players in that lineup. It's just you got Jokic, super high assists, LeBron high assists, Curry the point guard, obviously a great passer, Luka obviously a great passer point. It's just loaded with playmakers who.
Giannis is a playmaker too. Giannis.
I'm almost worried that who's going to score the damn ball in that starting lineup? They're all going to pass it around. But they're all elite scorers too, so.
Shot clock violations every.
Seriously, yeah.
Or it'll be like that old Princeton offense where it's just like constant motion and passing.
Well, that's a sick lineup, man. Did you see Giannis's reaction to the starting lineup?
Yeah, I liked his reaction a lot.
I saw a meme that said that they were the Monstars. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
the other team is at a disadvantage because their best player, who is picking, like isn't even going to be playing, so they're already at a huge disadvantage.
and he had to take his teammates too, right? He had to pick Kyrie with the first starters pick, and then Harden with the first bench pick. So it's basically the Nets, which is funny. And I think personally, Team LeBron has maybe the best player at every position right now.
Yeah.
So like, people could debate Jokic versus Embiid, but I would say Embiid supporters would say Philadelphia has a slightly better record. I think they're 2 or 3 games ahead of him, but Embiid has the best player efficiency rating right now of all time. So
he's having a pretty good year. He's having the best PER of all time.
he's doing pretty well. So
dude, Embiid was a beast the other night. I mean, he's a beast every night, but like, I definitely didn't see him playing with this sort of consistency, and he's playing unbelievable. Unbelievable. Obviously, need to wait for the playoffs, but he's looking great.
Yeah, Philadelphia is going to be a tough matchup because Philadelphia has that very difficult thing, which is they got a big man who can score, and a lot of teams don't have anybody who can. Nobody has somebody who can really defend that position like that. But like Embiid is a whole another level of difficulty to defend at the center spot. So,
and Simmons is playing defense at a next level right now. He's playing unreal defense.
Yes, he is.
He can't shoot the ball, but man, he can really stop people.
So that might hurt them in the playoffs, though, right? Simmons not being able to shoot.
Well, of course, yeah. I think that's always been the issue with like the Sixers and the Bucks is that their top flight guys can't shoot the ball, and when the game slows down, it becomes an issue.
Yes, it does. I'm pulling up a comparison here. Or at least I'm trying to. Embiid, Prism Silver, PSA 10. Boom.
His cards are cheap on the whole, right?
Depends upon your definition of cheap. He's too expensive for me to PC.
Oh wow, he's gone up a lot. Okay.
So look, this is Jokic and Embiid. They've mapped each other very closely over the last year. So a year ago, this is their Prism Silvers. All right. In 2014, Prism has a lot of variations. It's annoying. But their Prism Silvers were about $700 a piece a year ago, and last recorded sale, Embiid did about $6,000, and Jokic has been sitting at around $5,000, a little bit less. So these guys, Prism Silver PSA 10s, are trading $5,000 to $6,000 right now.
Christopher, how about that new graphing feature where you hover over? Tell me more about that.
Feature, right? So we never. So like, look, if there's a data point in which both cards have sold, they both display, which is a really convenient feature because before I hover my mouse over one, hover it over the other. Now it just displays, and all I have to do is put it over the line, like the axis that it's on, and both of them will show up. So that's just another small new little feature. I know a couple people have noticed it, but yeah, makes comparing and doing. It's other pops on the Embiid is 59, on the Jokic is 113. So those guys, $6,000. Yeah, that's pretty penny.
Nothing makes me more excited than making the app better every single day. I like live for it right now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Actually, my favorite part is when I text you to go to the app and try it, and I don't quite give it away. I'm like, just kind of like hover your mouth, and you're like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy when he does that. He'll message me and he'll be like, go look at like card ladder, and I'll just be like no direction at all. Like
Christina doesn't like scavenger hunts.
I don't like surprises.
I do.
I
However.
know. I know.
I do.
I play to those emotions. I don't surprise Christina. I let her figure it out a week later and yell at me. And I tell Chris right away.
Yeah, yep. I'm like a stupid kid who just is easily amused. Like a dog. I'm like a dog.
Well, whenever Christina discovers something that I've directly told you about, I'm like, aren't you guys in the same room? Why do I have to explain this twice?
Yeah. Yeah. I've learned the same lesson. Let her figure it out, and it's better that way. Yeah, that's a good feature. Very good feature. All right. Do I really even want to get to these questions? I was so disappointed. Did I mention I was disappointed with the questions?
You should pick a random one. It's really bad.
All right. No offense to the person who wrote it. I'm not going to say their name. All right. But you should know by now that we don't do questions like this. Or we don't like to. We will, but we will do it begrudgingly. Christina, by the way, Kwong wants to know, why are the Christmas lights still up? Christmas lights never come down.
Christmas is a year-round phenomenon. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Christina is the biggest fan of Christmas. So
just convince yourself that it's happy times all year long, and you'll be better.
She watches Hallmark Christmas movies. She watches them all year round.
Wow. That explains so much.
Why is there something? I watch them too.
That is like my guilty pleasure when I'm like adding like 15 cards late at night and I'm exhausted. I'll put it on the second monitor so that like it's like some happy time happening while I'm like bogged down in like feedback or
yeah, it's adorable.
taxes
You're fine.
or something.
You're fine. All right, here's the question.
As like Josh like just like cracks up at me, like not even
Hallmark movies.
Why don't we ask this question?
What question?
You know which question?
Hold on. No, I'll get. Well, we can. I don't know what question I'm about, but let me ask the one that I didn't like. The question is this, and no, all due respect to the person who asked it. What do you think about 2007 Bowman paper Kevin Durant? Goodbye, super low pop on the 10s and 9s. So I get the question. You know, they want to talk about the potentially an undervalued card. I get it. I get the point of the question. I get what's going on, but it's just not really the topic of this show. Okay, Wash is here. All right, let's go.
That was the most disrespected, undervalued card I can imagine. I can think of. It's so disrespected. I can't even picture what it looks like. Can you get a picture of it?
Yeah, I know. I just hold on. Let's see here.
You have a Bowman. Oh, that's one where he's facing backwards and like the draft boards behind him or something.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Right. I'm so over the logic of like this one's undervalued because that one's expensive. Logic is so. I'm so past that I just don't even want to respond. I take it back. I don't want bad questions.
All right. So let's answer the question.
Okay.
Let's say we brought it up. So let's answer it. There's a chrome and a base and a paper. So we're gonna pull up the paper. And here we go. So using Card Ladder, the last sale of the PSA 10 appears to have happened at the end of November 2020, which is quite a while ago, and it was for $3,000. Let me set the scale logarithmic. The PSA 9 last sold at the end of December for $950, basically $1,000.
What's the pop? It's low then, right?
The pop on the my god, it's very low. The pop on the 10 is 6, and the pop on the PSA 9 is 10. Yeah, that's unbelievably low. And then look, there's one on eBay right now for $7,500 OBO. And look, the author is the seller. No, I'm just joking. So there you got one on sale on eBay right now. That's just a raw copy that's sold there. And like I said, yeah, no sales since last November apparently. Pop 6. I mean, look, if the card was $3,000 at the end of November, and this guy wants 7,500 OBO, maybe I need to pause this live and go buy this card. No, but yeah, I don't know. 7,500 OBO. If the card doubled at that low pop, I don't know.
Hit the bin, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's such a low pop that it's like a collector card, man. What are you doing? How can you possibly hype that card? I don't even understand the end game here. There's like 6 of them to go around.
Yeah, 6 is very, very low. There's one PSA 9 that's available on eBay for 2,500 OBO.
The pose is silly. I'm big on the picture. I know you're the same way. It's got to be a picture of a card that I really want to buy. He's like turning backwards like a model. The goofiest card. It kind of reminds me of the Zion where he's like cradling the ball. Like it's a little bit silly.
Yeah, the optic Zion. Yeah.
The optic where he's like, he's kind of like cupping the ball. I'm like, I just never could look at this seriously.
You don't like that pose? Was that arch your back and look at me like a dragon?
I really don't like people smiling on cards. Is that weird? I just, like, you're playing a sport where you're competitive. I don't want you smiling.
Yeah, well, this dude is very happy he just got drafted by
I bet he is.
About to die.
He just got rich.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, what was the card that you were just mentioning? Oh, the Zion. Yeah, let's talk about cards with less than flattering poses. Because Luka has so many of those. So people have not really warmed up to this pose yet either.
Dude, what in the world is he doing?
The teddy bear. This is my ball.
Or the seashell, I've heard.
I'm more upset that the person who told him to do that for this photo, because I'm really hoping that he didn't do that on his own.
Zion, how do you want to pose? Let me cuddle up to the ball and put it by my ear. Maybe he. Yeah, card porn. I don't like the LeBron white suit rookie card. I think it's goofy. I'll never own that Topps paper LeBron rookie. I don't like the white suit. I don't like the picture. I just don't like it. I want them in game. That's why I like the field level rookies, because it's like, you're going to get an in-game action shot of a player. And it's like, I'm not trying to hype select and field level. I just like the photos. I just like the cards. I'm a collector. I like to. You just said that what your favorite part of the night when you got the CMAC was just like it kind of reminded you to go look through the rest of your CMAC cards. You like looking at them, and I don't want to look at a guy cradling a ball, smiling awkwardly, or that. I don't want to look at that. Somebody in the chat recommended to go look that up.
True.
Oh yeah, this is the one that Lefko sent to Mahomes. Then Mahomes put a story about it being fun of Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's in one of those photo booths,
He looks like that football is not football.
Oh.
He looks like he's
God.
eating a sub.
Yep.
Photoshop would have some fun with that one.
Yeah.
Let's get PWCC on the horn. Too soon?
I just sympathize with the people who have to do marketing because they don't know. They don't know what they've done. They don't know why that matters. They're just trying to make the card look good.
Okay, what's worse, an awkward picture on a card or a sticker auto?
Ooh. Well, let me put something to the test here as I think about my answer to that.
Let's see what the chat has to say. What's worse, a bad picture of a card on a card of the player or a sticker auto? What's worse?
And while those answers come in, let me ask, is this a bad picture?
Yes, it's really bad.
It's one of the most important cards.
I know. I've had the Harden for a week, and I own the Harden, and I'm like, God, what in the world? This is so weird.
Oh,
It's like,
this is here's something interesting too. By the way, this card sold in January for 170, and the
yeah.
prediction was low. The prediction predicted like 140 or like 150. Right now,
Now,
the prediction is 411 for this.
dude, it seems like it's 50-50. People are saying picture or sticker.
Okay, yeah. Oh, PWCC sold it. Somebody made like 200, 300 grand, but just buying that card.
That kind of reminds me of the Giannis Gold when it hit PWCC and it just sold way too cheap.
Oh,
Too
man,
early in the season.
cheap. Went for like 35 grand or something.
Same here, like too early in the year. You're not letting Steph Curry get into his rhythm of the season too early. But look, I have a lot of respect for that '09 Topps Chrome because it's got a monster rookie class. It's it's Topps Chrome. It's very important. It's a key card. So no disrespect to people who own that card. It's obviously incredibly important. I understand that. But I'm just big on the picture. It's just kind of a personal thing.
So you say stickers worse or pictures worse?
Picture because I own a few sticker autos, primarily Contenders football. There's quite a few.
Ah,
I really like the design of the card. I really like the photo of the player, but it's got a sticker auto. And I like my best Larry Fitzgerald card is a sticker auto. So, I think if the sticker auto is done tastefully, it's not the worst thing in the world. Like that. Perfect example. I think that looks okay.
yep. That sticker, they're not trying to hide that it's a sticker. They're embracing that it's a sticker, and they make the sticker look good.
That's my favorite Contenders design of all time right there.
Yeah,
So,
that card is sick.
because they like really incorporate the team logo and colors into the card, and they just like really committed to it, and then they slap a big sticker over it. So it's very frustrating, but it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, it's a good point. I was thinking like Prism autos. I'm like, I hate those
Oh,
stickers.
no, they're terrible because a Prism card isn't meant to have an autograph on it. So when you like literally on a lot of those cards, I know people feel the same way as me on this. I want to take the sticker off and make it just a regular Prism Silver. Like I'd literally rather have it be a Prism Silver. Is that crazy? Is that even
Dude,
possible?
I'd never thought of that, but it makes a lot of sense.
Like I'd be like, could I increase the value of this card by removing the sticker? Is that crazy? Has anyone ever thought of that? I obviously wouldn't do that because like I don't want to tamper with the card and alter it or whatever. But like, man, I'd rather just have the silver.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear
And
you. Funny.
okay, so my other pet peeve though on this topic of stickers is when the entire rookie class doesn't have a sticker except for one player, and it's the player you want. Like Travis Kelce, all of his rookie cards are sticker autos. Even his logo man NTRPA is a sticker auto. That is a big no-no.
That happened to Lillard too, right?
Third. And there's a couple other examples. People in the chat can maybe help me out, but there's Antonio Brown, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Damian Lillard, where they weren't like the most hyped rookies at the time because they came from small colleges and or they just like weren't like highly drafted. So they had to like rush out their products. They had to get them on stickers. It just like didn't work out. So their rookie cards are really bad. It's super annoying. If you collected Travis Kelce, I feel empathy for you. Lillard, dude, it's really bad.
Yeah, that is. So, but yeah, all right. I've been convinced probably the bad picture is worse because there are at least some sticker auto cards like Contenders that look awesome.
Yeah, the worst is when it's like a NT white background with a sticker where you're like, you have to like lean in a little bit and you're like, oh my God, there's a sticker on that. Nope. You tried to hide it.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said there's an Iverson Finest Gold on eBay that has a sticker auto on it, but I'm looking for it and I'm unable to find it.
And he's probably like, I want to take the sticker off and make it just a regular Finest Gold.
Yeah.
Cool, Chris.
Sorry, I was hoping I'd be able to find that.
Where you went to law school.
Where I went? I went to a law school in Southern California, sir.
Are we gonna talk about dibs?
We got a question about dibs. So the question was from CardGems23. He said, "I'd like to hear your opinions on dibs, NFTs backed by real sports cards stored in a vault." Oh shit! They sent the link to the chat. What do you think?
My initial reaction was that their user interface was really, really good, and like the application looked nice. So I'm obviously like attracted to that immediately. The idea is interesting. It's like collectible, but for cheaper cards. Is that correct? I don't know a ton about it, and I haven't like researched it. I can't get the app because it's only on iOS. I guess I'm just not like understanding. And also, someone posted a video and they like paid $20 to rip a pack, and the pack that they opened had shares of cards that added up to $20. Like, isn't the point of buying shares of a card that you pick exactly what you want to buy, like Robinhood, where you literally take your money and invest in the exact stocks that you want? I thought that was the point of dibs, but apparently they're also trying to cater to the gambler.
Got it. Here, somebody sent the link to the chat. I literally typed it in, and I got it. Iverson with a sticker on it. There you guys go. All right. Yeah. How does this pack thing work?
Okay. I hope I'm not messing this up, but the way I understood it, I watched High Upside Show.
All right.
Shout out to him. He makes cool content. He paid $20, and it got him a pack of 3 cards, and inside the pack were random shares of cards that added up to exactly $20. So it's like you're literally gambling on the player you pull from the pack and not how much value you get, because he pulled the exact value that he paid for.
That's interesting. So, one of the elements of packs is the gamble.
Right.
That you open a pack and 9 packs might give you $2 of value, but the 10th pack might give you $50 of value.
Yeah.
And you lose in the long run, but there's always that chance.
It's just a way to it's just like another feature to kind of hook people into it, I guess. Like Card Ladder could have packs of, fucking what card are you going to look at? I don't know. It's silly.
A little gimmicky.
Ooh,
Yes.
that's a great idea. A randomizer on the home page where you click it and it just shows you a random card.
That was like one of our first feature ideas. Remember that?
yeah. Christina has always loved that idea. It's written down somewhere.
She just has been waiting for this opportunity to pitch it back to me to build it.
We had a question on that topic too, but let's stay on dibs for a second. So if I'm going to spend $20, I'd rather just buy what I want to buy.
Yeah, you can. I'm just saying, it's just like another aspect to it.
Oh yeah, I got it. So yeah, it's like, don't know how to spend your money. Like, we'll randomly assign. I could just scroll through the list and just pick things randomly. I don't know.
Just, I guess maybe like give me your opinion on the concept of collectible, but for cheaper cards.
Well, I've warmed. My heart has slightly warmed to fractionalization. Is like not for something for me to buy, but I take some level of inspiration from the confidence that these people have who have built fractional companies, and they put a ton of money and man hours and resources into building them, and they see a long-term vision for this. And as they continue to execute it, they continue to do IPOs of cards, and they continue to sell out. What can I say? It's working. It's happening. So
Do you draw the line at PSA 10 Prism Silver Kyle Kuzma's?
well, I draw the line well before that.
Well, that's what's on the dibs.
Oh, right.
Dibs.
This is fractionalizing lower entry level cards.
More like, and I consider entry level like a cheaper version of a good player. This is more like prospect stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll say this as well. Building a business in the hobby is difficult and takes passion. And we were certainly subject to an inordinate amount of criticism when we first started, primarily surrounding the database.
Yeah.
And we still get criticism based on that. So, I'm making some perhaps critical remarks here, but I don't want it to be taken as personal. And it should be said that I've never used the app. So you said the UX is amazing. I believe you. The website looks good. And hey, if this works and it brings more prosperity to the hobby, just rain the prosperity on me, baby.
Yeah, I'm trying not to laugh because as a small business owner of a tech startup in sports cards, I have way more empathy than the average person to
Right.
trying to do what they're doing, and it seems like it's a very difficult tech implementation, a very difficult tech solution. Just thinking through it myself, how they built it, it's not easy. So, kudos to them for building it. It looks really nice. I wish them the best of luck. It's obviously not for me.
Yeah, it's more than fair. And hey, people have fun with it. That's great.
It seems fun. I'll be honest. It seems fun. Just looking at it, it would be fun.
It's got to be fun. If it's fun, then it's working. It's doing something that is so simple, but the heart of everything. If the fun is fun.
I know you're warming to collectible. I really like collectible. I like the team. I really liked meeting Ezra. I like the platform. The app is really smooth. I like the cards that they select. I'm even interested. I'm even tempted to invest. The 04 LeBron. I think it's the emblems of endorsement. There's 10 of those. It's incredibly rare. BGS 9. It's a cool card, man.
Yeah.
I'd love to own it myself, but at $200,000, that's just not going to happen. So to be able to buy a share of it would be cool. I'm not gonna lie, it would be cool.
Yeah, and let me, in case I misspoke, I love the people at Collectible. They've been great people from day one, and we've been in contact with them for a long time, and they're awesome people. It's that concept of fractional that I was really skeptical of at first, and then incrementally over time I've warmed up to it as I've seen it work. As I've seen it work, and what seems to be happening is that collectors like yourself are the ones who will buy into collect an IPO of a card. So then all the things I was worried about, taking away the collector aspect, removing the fun, all it's moot points because it's the same freaking people. It's people like us who are buying into these. I was in a Jordan chat and I was poo-pooing on fractional, and then half the guys in the Jordan chat, collectors who I respect immensely, were actually, Chris, we all invested in this, buddy. And I was oh, all right.
Yeah, because
on the wrong side here.
Because the cards that they select are very intentional and cool. A lot of the cards in their platform, it's not just 86 Fleer Jordan stuff. Like I said, the 04 Emblems LeBron is a really sick card that I'm never gonna own because it's so goddamn rare and so awesome. And I'm tempted to buy some shares in that because it's freaking sick.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. I'm trying to pull this up so we can all look at it.
What?
There it is.
The jockstrap?
We don't need to look at that. The LeBron emblems of endorsement.
Oh, I mean, you don't need to like hype it more than I did if you don't want to. I like that card.
Here we go.
Yeah, God, that's such a sick card. There's like not that many cards left in the world where I look at it and I'm like, good Lord, that is sick, you know, because I've kind of like seen a lot, but that's one of the cards where I'm like, Jesus, fuck, that's sick. My favorite, did you watch Putnam Cards open his mail day for his gold Kobe? Did you see his reaction? Like his
Yeah.
like
Love it. That's what it's
that's
all about.
that reaction is like, I wish I could bottle up that reaction because it's like you know exactly what he's going through because it happens to you and you just open the mail day and Kramer card collector 291 had a '09 and number pieces Jordan that he got this week with a sick 96 All-Star game patch and he revealed it and he's just like ugh. He's like, what do you even do? You just sort of like, oh my God.
Yep. There's a card ending sometime in the nebulous near future that would have an impact on me if I could. So thinking about that moment.
You need to do a live mail day, you piece of crap. You and your damn personal enjoyment. Like, you need to go live one of these times.
I'm very selfish with my personal enjoyment.
You got to do it one time because it is kind of interesting to watch people watch you.
Yeah. Maybe.
Are you embarrassed at your, what's the term? At your reaction noises?
I definitely wouldn't want anybody hearing, let alone having to look at my reaction.
Your vinegar strokes?
Yeah, nobody needs to see those.
Have you seen that show?
Favor.
Have you seen The League?
Yes, I watched The League. I think because you mentioned it, but that's the show that was on Netflix about fantasy football.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started it. Yeah.
Went far with it.
My fantasy football league that I'm the commissioner of that I've had for 10 years is called Eskimo Brothers and Vinegar Strokes because of that show. And there's definitely like a card vinegar strokes. So someone needs to coin that term. It needs to be something different and unique. But there's like a Grail reaction vinegar strokes.
Looked up with vinegar strokes men, and I'm disgusted.
Yeah, don't Google that, people. You will get some not good stuff. There's a card equivalent though. It's when you open a mail day of a Grail and you don't know what to do, so you just sort of like everyone knows what I'm talking about, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Totally okay.
Oh, that's great. All right. This one came from Dormant Stash. On a scale of 1 to 5, how hot is Ken Golden for our hobby?
You know how one of my biggest pet peeves in all of life is when people say like 6 or 11 in this scenario. So I'm not going to be that guy. I will say 5.
5. We're about to find out too, because big time auction ending tomorrow night.
Dude, he is going to have. He's probably got champagne on ice for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is a very big day in the hobby. Obviously, you know, we don't need to. You and I don't even need to spend any time hyping it up. It's massive. There's just so many cards, and Ken's obviously gonna have fun with it, as he should. He deserves it. A lot of hard work went into that, so congrats to Ken for tomorrow.
Yep. Indeed. Well said. I'm looking now at the state of some of the auctions. So the LeBron Exquisite RPA is about 1.4 to 1.5 after BP. The Mantle is about 1.3 after BP, and the Kobe similar. Kobe BGS 10, LeBron 101, Clemente, Jackie, Jordans, Luke RPA, etc. Oh, one really interesting one is this: the Top Chrome Refractor PSA 10 being at almost 250.
That one's kind of like, that card's kind of dipped below that in our predicted values based on the Chrome kind of going down. So that's already over the value of what, you know, it should be or whatever.
Yeah, unless there's definitely been a divergence between Prism Base and Prism Color that makes those, what the hell do you use to predict those anymore? It's tough. Like collectible IPO to Luca Prism Blue PSA 10 at 62K, and the prediction was like 30. So, and that's just because the base stuff isn't moving in the same.
True. It could go parabolic. Dude, did you see the green disco pulsar, whatever the fuck, Luca?
I scrolled right past it.
I must be really missing something. I think that is just the dumbest thing in the entire hobby. Maybe I'm just like a curmudgeon, but like random color, low numbered serial Luca Prism PSA 10s are just like the most ridiculous thing in the world to me.
Yeah, that card right now after BP is $250,000.
They all, like, you can step in and say I'm crazy, but like they all just sort of blend together. They're all just random. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That card makes no sense.
I mean, no, you're not. You're definitely not the first person I've heard.
Not even the right prism. It's fast break. It's like a secondary release. It's not even like, it doesn't make any sense.
People take issue too with this particular parallel because the people have likened the green to vomit.
I just like $250,000 for, like, if I'm spending that much money, it needs to check every single box I have. It needs to check so many boxes. Like,
Grail.
it needs to be a Grail. It needs to be the right player. It needs to be the right set. It needs to be the right parallel. It needs to make sense. It needs to look cool. It just, like, I don't know. I'll get off my lawn, I guess. I don't want to, like, downplay people that collect every parallel. There's just so many of those types of things.
Yeah.
There's the orange, there's the fast break green, there's the white sparkle, there's the
Pulsar family, the pink Pulsar and the purple Pulsar.
There's the ice.
The ices.
There's blue ice, like all the cracked
Oh, there's
ice.
tons of there's cracked blue ice, cracked purple ice, pink ice,
red
ice. I don't think 2018 had any more ices.
I think that was it.
I am I'm totally Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino. Just about 20. This is one of the few things where I'm not gonna get on board with it.
All right,
Sorry.
look, Shay has gone full. Shay in the chat, Shayway Vlogs,
Totally.
has gone full nihilism.
What did he say?
And you never want to go 100% nihilism.
I don't know what that word means. What does that word mean?
That means let me get a definition of it.
Oh, come on, Mr. Lawyer. Just tell us the definition.
Okay, here's nihilism. The rejection of all religious and moral principles, the belief that life is meaningless. So you don't want to go all the way there, but you want to have a little bit of this. So he says, it's worth what someone is willing to pay for a piece of cardboard. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Throw your arms up in the air. Yeah.
He said, everything is made up in the hobby. We all make prices up. And he's been on this wavelength for a long time, so I give him credit for that. But you never go full because it's hard to come back from that ledge once you've peered down the cliff.
Sure.
So there's somebody out there who this makes sense to. Shout out to Lamim James. He recently acquired. I don't know if I shouldn't say what his pickups are. Lamim James likes this card. All right, there are people out there who legitimately like cards, like that one.
Oh, I can't wait to see what this card is. Like a Trae Young, like green disco prism select or something. What is it?
I shouldn't say. I shouldn't because I don't want to take away the I don't want to take away his mail day. You know, his
Oh,
strokes. We all need to see his vinegar. So,
dude, that's gonna catch on. I'm telling you, that whole path that I've laid out of like what that term should be. I don't know what it is. I'll let someone else run with it, but
well, Christina, your screen is going a little bit. Sorry, I was trying to brighten up the screen. All right. We have 10 to 15 minutes left. What do we need to cover here? Because listen, guys, usually we go another hour. We're not going another hour because tomorrow we're gonna do a live again at 10 p.m. Eastern for Golden Auction Watch Party. So, so we're cutting it early tonight. So, let's see. Let me acknowledge some more questions here. NY Giants card guy said, judging by reactions of things this week, an in-depth economics discussion may be in order. And while I like the spirit of that question, but I'm not quite sure what specifically you're referring to there. But an in-depth economics discussion is always appropriate, my friend. 8209 Patrick, this is a good question. He says, I can't wait to hear the new Justin Timberlake intro tonight and the Truly Chipotle sponsorships. Hoping Josh also can add a Chipotle tracker to Card Ladder.
He's obviously joking, but I'll add that feature. You can never have too many Chipotle trackers. Tonight's a White Claw night.
White Claw?
It's a rotating thing, Truly, White Claw, Corona. I don't play favorites. I give everyone every seltzer deserves their due respect for the week,
I do know. All right. Slabs to Men said, what is one of the more innovative one-day features you guys have drummed up for Card Ladder that could be another game changer?
I can tell you, but someone else will take it.
Oh, that's so true. How soon we forget.
So y'all don't get to know. Sorry.
Custom date ranges.
There we go. Custom date ranges. Let's go.
And I'll give you one other for the people still on, all 69 of you. Nice. 69. Custom dashboard is coming.
Ooh.
What did you say?
With
custom dashboard.
With like more personalized widgets on your dashboard of like, snapshots of your collection for the day, snapshots of what cards in your watch list have moved, et cetera, et cetera.
All right, I'm cutting Josh off. Next question.
Christina doesn't want to.
Sorry. I like to give people teasers. You know that?
That's not a teaser. That's a full-on, this is what we're planning to do.
There's only 69 people that get that teaser.
Yeah, until this thing gets posted and people watch it tomorrow morning, people listen to it all week, somehow
I think
that we all know.
All we have to do is somehow...
We'll get a hold of it.
All we have to do is somehow to attach an all-time high sales card to this little discussion, and it'll be on ESPN tomorrow. All I have to say is, Giannis Prism Gold sets all-time high for modern 2013 ESPN article, $1 million. Like, that's all I gotta do, and then there we go.
Yeah. I think you just solved marketing, my friend.
Yeah.
All right. We already did this question. We did all the PSA. I'm down to the last question.
Oh, here we go. All right, this is going to be good.
Brace yourself.
It's going to be good.
From Scott Kidd 583.
Love that guy.
With the 1986 Fleer sticker cards going up, do you think the 1980 football stickers or later year basketball stickers will follow. I'm gonna strike my clubhouse pose here.
No, it's this. Isn't it like this?
Oh yeah.
You look much younger in that picture.
I was much younger. That picture must have been from 2013.
15?
13.
So the Giannis rookie class? Wow.
No, because I was there.
Okay. All right.
So it was like 2015.
So freaking, God, that was not a good rookie class.
Giannis's rookie class?
2015?
Oh, 15 has Booker, Jokic.
That's pretty good. You're right. 2015. I was thinking of 2016.
16 has Ben Simmons.
Brandon Ingram, Jaylen Brown.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Clear stickers. No.
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 Yeah. I don't know much about 80s football stickers. I do know that later year basketball stickers have higher print runs for sure. It's a thing.
The real question is, will Gary V start talking about those cards? That's the key.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, let's talk about that. Let's end on that. I need a minute to find the picture. But this is a great topic, actually.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Nope. Is it Trae Young?
Here it is. It's a trade. Not that great of a topic.
Someone let me take a victory lap on that, please. Oh, that.
So let's read. So a tweet accompanied this photo. So many debate either or will be both. Physical and NFT will both do extremely well. Alternative investments are common sense to many, and many more soon. And then no one's ever seen this before.
It's a lot of slabs, dude. A lot of slabs. Those piles extremely high because, like, look at that. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's hundreds and hundreds, that's thousands of cards on that table. Thousands. Oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my gosh. He's definitely not selling cards. I'll give him that. He's not lying about that because there's no way he's sold anything with that many cards. I mean, it's a different style, like my taste is harder to find cards that I can't accumulate that much of. Like, if I ever have that many cards, it means that the cards I'm buying are too easy to get, and I don't like it. But Gary obviously is having fun with it. I can't question him on that. Having fun and like buying cards your own way is a big part of this whole thing, and he's clearly having fun with it. So I think it's a fun picture. Honestly, I think it's cool.
Dude, I was asking people to show me a picture that has more slabs in it that's ever been taken.
What's your reaction to it?
Well, I think he took this picture for a very specific purpose. It
Sure.
came like 2 or 3 weeks after he had been talking a lot about NFTs. So maybe some card people were like, "Hey Gary, are you talking about cards anymore or not? Maybe he was getting text messages from people like, "Man, what's going on? Are you still high on cards?" And so rather than just make a effort post to explain himself, he just said, "How about I do this? How about I take a picture of every freaking card that I own, and this can put you guys all at ease." And as I look at that table, I'm like, did anybody else buy anything on eBay over the last 6 months, or did he just literally buy every card on eBay?
There's a lot of beauty in the chaos of that Like there's like an art form to his chaos. Like he's clearly a very organized, meticulous, shrewd businessman, and to see that sort of chaos is sort of interesting. Like he's trying to portray his obsession with the hobby through the chaos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And you know, some of these piles are just crazy. That's all like Luca Prison Base PSA 10s. I mean, how many are there? 400 maybe?
I think the thing that makes the hobby so much fun, and not even just like sports cards, but sort of like physical collectibles as a hobby fun, is like it's very individualistic and creative, and you can kind of like do it however you want. You can make a huge mess in your office, and you can just sort of like throw yourself at this craziness. And he's doing that, and a lot of us do it. And like, it's not fun at all for anyone. I don't care who you are to look at a stock portfolio on your phone. Other than the financial side of it, of like I made money, you can't get any enjoyment out of it. But to have like a table full of stuff to look at and art, it's like there's some fun to that.
Yeah. And I mean, dude, this guy, if this, you know, the inventory here, I mean, damn, it puts a lot of card shops to shame.
Yeah.
I've never seen a picture that has more slabs in it than that picture. And people have shown me other pictures like from Probstein's consignment room and stuff like that, but like true shit. True. But you know, there are thousands and thousands of slabs here. I mean, I was just zooming in on the vintage selection. I mean, I see, you know, I think I definitely see a Jerry West rookie like pile. I think like, I mean, dude, you know, he's got piles of the Jordan Nike poster. He's got piles of Jordan Interlake rookie card. I mean, somebody in the chat said this is $100 million collection. I mean, it very well might be. It very well might be. I mean, can we wrap our heads around the fact that, see, because what if Nat Turner posted this picture? The reaction would be so different. It would be like, damn, Nat just showed off $100 million in cards. You know, Gary V is freaking showing off a 9-figure collection potentially. That's kind of crazy.
I think it's awesome. I don't care if people don't like the way he collects and they think he's a hoarder and he's a pumper and dumper or flipper. Like, to be able to make that picture a reality is impressive, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it speaks to the obsession. I mean, what does this say, right?
Obsession, that's the word. Thank you. It's like, dude, you can say whatever you want about him. The dude likes cards. There's no possible way to amass that much without being completely an obsessive, just a complete obsessed path towards cards. There's no other way.
Think about how much time it would take just to like take those cards out and put them away.
Dude, you know how much time that dude's been on eBay buying all that shit?
Dude, he's all in, man. Is
this good for the hobby or bad? Yeah. Even if like you think the picture, who cares? His cards. What does it matter? He's just posting the picture of his cards. I like it. I think it's cool.
I think anytime an individual has 100 million in cards, I'm just going with that. You see how I just went from somebody speculated to it's a fact? That's how hobby gets made. So for this guy to show this type of collection is it sucks that that's the point I was making. Imagine it wasn't Gary who showed this. Imagine it was Nat who showed this. Imagine it was Patrick Bet David who showed this. Imagine it was Kevin Durant who showed this. I mean, the reaction would just be euphoria. People would just lose their minds. But he doesn't get graded on the same standard. So I'm with you, man. I think there's a very positive way to interpret this incredible hoard.
It's like if Sasha posted that versus you and I.
Yeah,
Like
probably
people maybe you get different reactions. You like, oh, look at that true passionate collector versus, oh, look at that guy hoarding all those cards. It's like, well, all right, how different are they actually?
yeah, right. I mean, damn, if it, it's just it's so, and like he just has like casually. This is just, you can just study this picture. Just casually has a 2012 Prism box just chilling there.
Is there any other topics of like, is there any other low hanging fruit of the week that we missed? I feel like we hit all the major ones.
I feel like we have two. Christina, is there any hobby topics we missed? We covered a lot tonight for sure.
Top Shot, crashing.
Oh, people do not want to hear about Top Shot.
Everyone's selling their Top Shots.
If I knew how, I would too.
Somebody said that Abdiha sold for $400.
Oh my God.
So,
What? I don't even know who that player that you just said is. Who?
Denny, he's a rookie for the Wizards.
Yep.
Exactly. Give me a break. Okay. God, I'm so glad that that's almost over. I didn't take Lamine. I talked no shit about Trae Young. I attempted a small coup at taking a victory lap on his prices going way, way down after I called it, but I declined to take that victory lap. I'll just leave it there.
Lamim, how you liking Clubhouse, man? This is funny. So Lamim comes into Clubhouse at 3 a.m. my time. I'm not sure what time it is for him. And I've never seen this happen to anybody before. He comes into Clubhouse. He pulls up his virtual chair, and straight away Peter Pac-Man just starts attacking him. I forget what he said. Damn, it was something. He just starts like ripping him, and I'm like, damn, Lamim just is taking heat here from all sides. I've never seen that happen before. Just Lamim is a very polarizing figure.
About what? What could you hate on him?
Man, Lamim, what was he saying, man? I'm sorry, I'm tired. I forgot what he said. It definitely
I feel like
Trey.
Christian is one of the few guys that like I'm just not sure what you could say.
He said he told him maybe he's like the trisexuals belong in the other room or something like that.
What?
Yeah. Lamim takes the smoke for the hobby. Yes, he does.
Dude, Lamine puts a freaking mirror to the hobby. That's what he does.
Yeah.
A really big mirror of like, you guys are kind of ridiculous. Here's what the things that you say actually sound like to me. And I'm like, yep, that's what they sound like.
Yeah. Lamim James is he's also to blame for all these crappy meme pages that have sprung up since he's been so successful with it. Now there's crappy memes everywhere. But if I understand correctly, he's coaching them and working and getting them better. So
he's coaching them? What? He's running like a training course on how to write good sports card memes that are genuine? Oh my God.
For the community.
The key aspect to being a good meme maker in the sports card world is that you have to be a part of it yourself. You have to actually understand the mindset of a collector. It's very important. You can't just like make jokes about, anti-collectors without being a collector yourself. It just doesn't resonate with us. It's like asking someone at PWCC to make a Photoshop picture without understanding the actual implications of it. You have to understand the intricacies of the hobby before you can make fun of it.
Yeah, because like I see a lot of memes, just like a meme just like pumping up cards or something, like a person like with a dumb look on their face and like card prices, going crazy, and it's like, no, that's not the point of the meme is not to like just pump up the hobby. It's not the point of the meme is to like be critical of the hobby in a way that makes you think a little bit.
Dude, being able to make fun of yourself, 100%. That's the key part. The humility of that is important. The theme of the night is anti-drama. So let's end tonight and go in tomorrow with tomorrow's going to be data, Chris. Tomorrow's going to be facts. It's going to be auctions that end with real prices realized, and lots of money is going to be spent tomorrow, and we will be there to report on all of it, right?
Yeah, Lord willing that the extended bid times don't go for ridiculous amounts of time.
And hopefully the site stays up.
That too. That too. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
69 people here. Good night, everyone.